Question, Claire Armstrong from the Daily Telegraph.
Thanks, Tom, and thanks for your time, Paul. During the campaign, Labor's explanation for making claims that the coalition described as basically a scare campaign was that it was reasonable to infer from Peter Dutton's performance as Health Minister a decade ago that he would do the same if given the chance as Prime Minister. So if we had truth and political advertising laws in this country, do you believe that ads like Peter Dutton is going to cut existing urgent care clinics to pay for nuclear would pass, given the coalition had explicitly committed to that example?
Thanks very much, Claire. Well, 2 points on that. First, Peter Dutton also said back on the 20th of March at the Lowy Institute that past performance is the best indicator of future practice. And I won't again catalogue what past performance and rhetoric from Peter Dutton entails, but he went to the election refusing to say what they would cut, and on form we're like completely comfortable with the assertions that we made that the risk that he posed to Medicare and to Australians' access to healthcare was too great a risk to accept and was a very relevant question in the campaign. On truth in political advertising, it's been in our platform since 2021 that Australia needs a truth in political advertising framework. We have truth in political advertising frameworks in South Australia and the ACTs. There's a couple of models for how they've worked, but there's a set of really important questions that need to be worked through about who the umpire is, how the process works, what the penalties and the sanctions are, because you've got to get the balance right, and you don't want to end up having a dampening effect and actually having some perverse consequences where you start stifling free speech or participation in politics and campaigns, both for first principles reasons and because the High Court's found that there is the implied right of the freedom of political communication in the Constitution. So there's some very big questions to work through there, and I'm sure that the Joint Standing Committee on Electoral Matters will take that up as part of their inquiry into the election. But I'm sure that all of the ads that we ran in this campaign would have sailed through a truth in political advertising framework because we were really, really very comfortable with the argument that we were putting forward.
Next question from Tom McElroy from The Guardian.
Paul, thanks for taking our questions. You said that you believe the Liberals' nuclear policy is designed to slow the transition to renewables or knock it off course completely. The science of climate is settled, but is the politics? Do you think that there's still juice for the right of politics in Australia to extract from the issue of climate, or would you expect that voters have settled their views and will vote accordingly in the future?
Thanks, Tom. Well, I think I made a case in my remarks that the coalition needs to accept the lessons from the last two federal elections and their last two defeats if they want to be competitive again. And I think that starts with facing up to the reality of climate change and to the energy transition that the country needs to make and to the opportunities that that represents. And so that's a question for them. But I think if they continue on the path that they're on of delay and denial, then they'll continue getting the sorts of outcomes that we saw on the 3rd of May.